okay, so what do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy studying circuits and being lost in circuits, or do you enjoy talking to people more? That was the question he asked me. So that was the instant trigger. I was like, dude, I don't like talking to people. Just give me the circuits. So the first round, it was like only 20 minutes long. He just listened to what was my projects and stuff like that. He was like, okay, fine. ठीक है. Makes sense. ठीक है. Now you go ahead. So I was pretty happy. Okay, ठीक है. 20 minute में काम खत्म. I managed to talk my way through. Nice. Then I had my interview with the Head of Department of R&D. It went for 2.5 hours. And it was like, it was the most stressful experience I've ever had, because this guy made me feel that none of my projects mean anything. This guy literally kept asking me questions on the same topic until I said, I don't know.
This might sound very great, that you being from a triple E background actually were able to make into a relevant field of work, which rarely few people do. So how did you exactly land up in this company, and what was the process that landed you up here?
Right. So I had signed up for AMCAT. Right. So AMCAT is this exam that college made us take. They basically give you suggestions for different companies who are hiring, and they send you mails for that. So I gave that exam, and based on that, AMCAT also had Luminous was hiring via AMCAT. So AMCAT had this, you can say, inter-college pool where students from MSIT, Maharaja Agrawal and Bharati BVPIT, we all came together, and we had this basically joint interview rounds. So first round itself was it was group discussion. So once group discussion round was done, then it was an online test. It was usually it's the other way around, but these guys decided to go for the group discussion first, then the interview, then the exam, and then the interview. So during my interview, I actually was asked, okay, do you want to be in R&D, or do you want to be in sales? Okay, so the guy was not this direct. He said that, okay, so what do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy studying circuits and being lost in circuits, or do you enjoy talking to people more? That was the question he asked me. So that was the instant trigger. I was like, dude, I don't like talking to people. Just give me the circuits. Right. So, okay, fun fact. Luminous initially had said that they are hiring firmware engineers, they're hiring solder engineers, hardware engineers, as well as sales engineers. But when we reached on the location, we were told that they were only hiring sales engineers. I had no interest of being a sales engineer. I really do not enjoy talking to people that much. I mean, a good company like yourself, that's a different story. But in general, if you ask me to call up somebody, I'd be like, can I just text him? Right. So I did not want to be a sales engineer, but I was like, you know what? I have shown up here, I've put on good clothes, I've taken a shower today, I have studied my subjects. You know what? Let's just do this. And rounds clear hote gaye. Suddenly I hear that two of my batchmates from ECE, I suddenly hear that they got recommended for R&D. So I was like, these people are getting recommended for R&D. I asked them that, okay, interview kaun se room mein hua? Because like interviews were happening in 2 rooms. So these guys were like, okay, bahar wale room mein ho raha hai. I was like, fine, I need to get myself into that room. बिकॉज जिस रूम में आई वॉज अलॉटेड उस रूम में कोई भी बंदा ये नहीं आके बोल रहा था कि ओके वी गॉट रिकमेंडेड फॉर R&D, while two guys got recommended from the other room. So I pretty much convinced the teacher that okay वहाँ पे load थोड़ा कम हो रहा है, how about you shift half of the students over there, and I totally want to be in that half, so please. And that's how with luck I got through there. Then I convinced the one-on-one interview guy. He recommended me for R&D. Then I had another interview on Luminous's campus. So again, there were 2 rounds in that as well. So the first round, it was like only 20 minutes long. He was, in fact, he still is one of the basically project managers who is an expert in firmware design himself, in hardware design himself. So he just listened to what was my projects and stuff like that. He was like, okay, fine, ठीक है, makes sense, ठीक है, now you go ahead. So I was pretty happy. Okay, ठीक है, 20 minute में काम खत्म. I mean, I managed to talk my way through. Nice. Then I had my interview with the Head of Department of R&D. It went for 2.5 hours. It went for 2.5 hours, and it was like, it was the most stressful experience I've ever had, because this guy made me feel that none of my projects mean anything. Like for example, the electronic MIDI controller guitar that we guys had made, he listened to it and he was like, oh, so you guys just made a very fancy keypad. And he was right. We had literally just made a keypad, and it was in the shape of a guitar. It had steel, basically it had steel wool strings and like pretty interesting stuff. And it had daisy chained registers to read, like to scan through all the strings and to understand कि okay इस interrupt से ये हो रहा है. Beautiful logic. But at the end of the day, we had just created a keypad, and that just blew my mind at the spot. I was like, shit, I have not done anything good in engineering. So this is one of the tactics that very strong interviewers do, because they might want to see that okay, what how strong is this guy under stress, because working in any job, it is stressful. Your true worth is not really how you perform when you're happy and in extremely comfortable environments. They have to see that okay, your units are literally blowing up, your deadlines are right next to you, and it's also your mother's birthday. How do you balance all of them together? Right. So this guy literally kept asking me questions on the same topic until I said I don't know. Like okay, I had made a BLE based Bluetooth based home automation system project on my own. So he kept on asking me questions. He literally went down to like Bluetooth algorithms on the module itself, which if you use Arduino or any things like that, you are really not interacting with the direct firmware of that particular module. You're basically using 80 codes and basically another set of instructions which are abstracting that module. So you really don't know what is going inside the module unless you go inside and specifically read that. Okay, fun fact, if you go and open the Bluetooth specifications documentation, that is 6,000 pages long. I'm not even joking. You try this is something to all viewers. If you are into ECE, if you're into radio engineering or things like that, open the Bluetooth specifications right now. Right, it's something that we take for granted, but actually there's an entire field of engineering related to it, where they're talking about security of it, how pairing happens, how this happens, what is the different protocols that are used in transmitting the waves. So even the smallest thing has got a lot of depth in it. So this guy kept on asking me questions till the point where I said, I don't know, man. And the thing is, he kept on going back 1 year at a time. Okay, fourth year, third year, second year, first year. उसके बाद he started going into class 12th, class 11th, class 10th, and last में he's like, okay ठीक है बताओ, what does your dad do, where do you live, and what does your mom do, कितने भाई बहन हैं, things like that. I think at that point of time even he was like, okay man, बहुत grill कर लिया इस बंदे को, थोड़ा सा chill करते हैं अब. So yeah, luckily I got through with that. Another friend of mine, Pranav Jan, he also got through. He got through the LED team, while I got through the solar hardware design team.
Great, Soham. No doubt about your technical knowledge, but the way you managed to get into that other room completely makes you a real engineer.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So did you not think about going for an higher education?
I did in fact, but thing is, I really don't have the mental strength to go through, like sit at home and study for an entrance exam, right? So MTech was sort of out of my like mental capacity, you can say. I mean, if I sit down and do it, it would be okay, I might be able to do it, but I really did not have that initial thing that okay, yahi karna hai. And this is something that I've realized in engineering and pretty much in everything. If it immediately doesn't click that okay, I need to do this, you will not be able to do it, right? So I thought that okay, I'll apply for MS. But the thing was, since I've said before that in the first 2 years I really didn't do much, my grades were also pretty average. I was hitting maybe a 70% throughout my first and second year. So now all of your MS entrances there are pretty heavy on your percentage, on your undergrad percentage, right? So usually it's like this, that your GRE score, it is like sort of a basic pass fail parameter, but like if you meet their base cutoff and you're in, then they start taking a look at your undergrad score. So I was like, I'm really not going to get a really good college if I directly apply right now with my mediocre grades. In my third and fourth year I got above 85%. My projects went off pretty well, so over there I can justify that okay, I do have the intelligence to actually score pretty decent. So right. So what I decided was that okay, what I can do is I can get some job experience and then I can start applying. But as you can see, once you start working, it becomes pretty difficult to actually push through with your entire master's applications and things like that. I do intend on still doing it, but I may be going towards a slightly different domain. So all right, so right now I'm also doing a postgraduate diploma course in artificial intelligence and ML from IIIT Lucknow. So I might be looking at domains which are combining power electronics with machine learning and AI. So basic aim of doing this course is to expand my skill set. So I have a background in a bit of hardware, I have a bit of background in firmware design, and now I'll also have a bit of a background in machine learning. So let's see what can I come up with that. Do-it-yourself projects any day. If you are buying projects from Janakpuri, you have failed as an engineer. I'm saying this straight up to everybody. I do not care if you're studying for whatever entrance exam, you're studying for CAT, you're studying for GRE, you're studying for GATE. If you are not making your own projects, final year projects, you have failed as an engineer. One of the main things that you learn on your first year at any job is that whatever you studied in college, you will not be applying it at your work. All of my advice on anything related to engineering in college is do it. Do the thing or what you're studying. Don't just leave it on paper.